I'm Jack Kennedy, and this is the Excel Files. Let's go.
In the shadows of your spreadsheet, something's not calculating. Jack, Elliott, and Tim, explaining the unexplained. The Excel Files. Trust, no sell.
I love that.
Welcome to the Excel Files. Because the truth has no href errors, we have a brand new intro. You'll be pleased it's not over a minute long anymore. We're here to talk about those Excel skills you won't see in your finance department. We're too deep in the Excel World Championship, and yes, it's a thing to remember what's easy and what's hard in Excel. So we like to talk lambdas and algorithms and all sorts of crazy secret tips and tricks. And I am joined today by the usual crew of reigning champion FWC, Dim Ernie, and our personal guide to all things XLOOKUP, Elliott Patterson.
I know, one function.
It's the one function to know.
Absolutely.
Also with us today, ranked number 6 at the MEWC 2024 finals in Vegas, the first officially sponsored Excel athlete and co-founder of the newly announced Chilean chapter, known the world over as Excelman, it's Juan José Cifuentes.
Hey Jack, how are you doing? Love to be here.
Welcome to the podcast. And the most exciting thing happening this week is that you went live with an all-new chapter, free to participants worldwide, and fully bilingual in Spanish and English. How did you make that happen?
It's it's a lot of work. I mean, consider this: the first training case. It's Easter based, so you can kind of gauge how long we've been working on this and how many times we postponed it. Because that was very much done by the end of April. I can tell you that.
I remember doing a test solve of it for you in like mid-April, and I want to have it ready for Easter.
Yeah, but then so many things to get done, and I'm good at the Excel side of it, right? Designing the case and whatnot, but at the promoting it, I'm kind of terrible, and it's kind of terrifying. So you kind of put it off, and life catches up to you. But we finally managed it. And the bilingual stuff is actually not that hard. You set up your sheet, and instead of having text, you have a bunch of hooks, right? And then you have a translation sheet, and then you have an actual output sheet, right? And you switch a number, and it switches from English to Spanish. And to be fair, a lot of the translation is just ChatGPT because it's actually pretty good at it. I mean, obviously I review it, but it does like 99% of it.
So a really clever way of doing a translation. I love it.
I love that, yeah. I think we should start considering producing multilingual ones ourselves over here. I think
Jack, let's get through the live finals before we start adding to English.
I mean, English is the language of the competition. You would be surprised how many Chileans have signed up that chose English as a language. I was very surprised, like, what? But yeah.
I wonder if they're used to solving
Spanish.
So I'm tempted to try in Spanish.
I was just saying I'm not untempted to try it in Spanish. It would, add a little extra spice to it.
I mean, you need
more Spanish than like Portuguese, which I've done at least one Brazil round without translation. I mean, it didn't go great, but...
Tú y yo en español, ¿por qué no?
Claro, hagámoslo en español.
Sí.
Hagamos el podcast en español.
¿Por qué no? Hablamos en español por todo podcast, ¿no?
Sí, pero muy lentamente, por favor.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Oh my goodness! When I was in Cartagena, I just learned Spanish when I was
we're in English again.
When I was in Cartagena, this American couple came up to me and they went, "Excuse me, could you ask someone to help us find the library?" And I was like, "Come on! If anyone knows any Spanish, that's what they know."
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of work. Elliott and I can attest to that. It's I think the reason we managed to get it off the ground so early in the year is I spent the first 3 months of the year not having a job, and that was my full-time job.
I
the reason we've been able
did
to
not
do
have a job when I
anything-
decided to do it.
Yeah.
And I got a job very, very quickly after that, so...
Yeah. And the reason we managed to do anything is Jack really powering through. But yeah, we're excited for the live finals. We've started to get some of the props arriving, which is good fun. I think there might be some spoilers at some stage soon. Yeah, and very excited to see you guys launch. So yeah, exciting things ahead.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Very exciting.
I even have another training case and waiting there. I think Dim tried it as well. Yeah.
Did I try that? Oh yeah, I did try another one. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it this one? And then I was like, no, I can't say.
Is it the monster case that we've heard about?
The
But
what?
we haven't
No. If I did the monster case, I would get ostracized here in Chile. No, that's Card Wars, and that's out for anyone brave enough to try it. Which
is Card Wars the original next month case that you nixed?
No. The next month case is it has been nerfed, but it's not at the level. Card Wars would have to be just quartered and sectioned and then repackaged. No, this one was a bit more complicated. I think Emil's helped me a lot to identify like key issues and sort of, you can get to something quite difficult if you go step by step, right? Every level builds on the previous level. And I think we managed to do that really nicely. So hopefully, that will go well.
You're saying I should not start at level 7 then?
No. This is that challenge we always talk about. You start at level 7, you're gonna get nowhere.
Every local chapter needs to have a special dim thing where they have like the dim challenge, and he has to do things slightly differently.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Okay. Well, if you're going to have a multilingual setup, why not have a dim language version?
Oh my god! You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna ask Harry Watson to help me, and I'm gonna encrypt the instructions in Dim's case. Not even Spanish.
So you have to decrypt it before we can even start.
Yeah.
Okay, right. JJ, I have created a special JJ jingle for you to introduce you and your topic today. So, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
He's the chosen one with the golden cells. Juan José Excelman, casting Excel spells. Lambdas long, formulate clean, array broadcasting, his podcast theme. Excelman! Excelman! JJ's the one and only. Excelman!
Oh my god, you need to change it so your car plays that every time you go in reverse.
That is amazing. I feel very honored. That was hysterical. You need to send it to me, please.
I can tell you, I have 50 different versions of this track, but that's what we ended up with.
That song from the World Cup last year, it's the Excel World Championship. That's been my ringtone for the last 6 months. But I think
now you have a new ringtone. Yeah.
No, hands down. Oh my god, that is hilarious. You're awesome.
So,
that was very good.
As was mentioned in your jingle, you've chosen array broadcasting for your topic. Can you tell us briefly, before we jump into Dim's Golden Age, why you've chosen array broadcasting?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I've been listening to the other podcasts, and I think it's a bit of a build-up on the last one's subject, for the algorithms. Because you use it a lot to build lambdas, right? But I've chosen it because Excel is quite inefficient, I think, in quite a few things. Like anybody who's done an H stack or a V stack or successively, it takes forever and then some, right? You cannot stack something for a large amount because it's just terrible. And the array broadcasting, I think, sort of gets around this. It's somewhere where I think Excel is very, very efficient in getting through large calculations. So if you apply a little bit of creativity, you do array broadcasting and you can get some fantastic results.
I think that is what I always say is the thing I love about Excel the most is once you start to reach its limitations, you start to kind of like push them and pull them and kind of learn to play within those limitations. And that is the creativity of Excel, is being able to build with what you've got.
Exactly. I think I like it more because of the limitations, because it's a challenge, and but it's a challenge that has solutions, right? It doesn't seem like an unfair challenge, and that makes it so much interesting.
It's time for our favorite segment of the show. Let's see what has been happening segment, as Dim brings us up to date, and there is a lot of news this time. So here goes.
Step right up and take the stage. It's time for Dim's Golden Age. Ain't it great? Esports athletes share their flair. Dim's Golden Age beyond compare.
I love that jingle.
I feel like every time it finishes, I need to see you with a cigar and a whiskey. Going like,
What we should have is Dim just spinning around in a chair, and he comes back and is kind of like all made up with this kind of like vintage.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got the dancers all around him, right? And yeah, absolutely. You gotta borrow Gel's
No comment. You know he hasn't mentioned it for a while, but he did say a lot of times last year around when that first came out that the next one would have to be even bigger, and it's coming time. It's coming time.
I don't think I've ever heard him say that. I don't like Giles. Something like that.
I need to get into fast talking mode because otherwise we'll never get through it. It's. Jeremy described it memorably as, esports has reached escape velocity, and I think that's about right. Literally every month we're like, wow, there's a lot to talk about this month, but that's just been the constant state for like this whole year. All right, I'm going to go quick. Number one, YouTube activity. We've got a new esports channel. Eric Ashton has put out a new channel, including showing off some cool AI stuff that he built. Like he won a Road to Las Vegas round and an MEWC now UK round, and a few other things with an AI solution, and he demonstrated that. Very cool. But he's also just been doing now a bunch of regular solves with like quite a sort of macro heavy approach. Like he kind of, like his first move is to kind of save the file and then take the file name and put it into a different file that processes and does a bunch of stuff to it and sets it up and sets up data tables and turns on and off data tables. It's pretty cool. I haven't dived into the setup, but he has been sharing his macro file, his Lambda files and everything. So there's a lot of cool stuff there. And he's done he launched, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, and he's done like 40 videos since then. He's done speed runs of I think he's just working through the whole, archive. He's done like most of 23, 24. Anyway, that's exciting. But also a few people are back in action who had been quiet for a while, including Elliott. Has a video out on Maps of Merlin, but also Jeremy Freelove has been posting it. Maybe we reinvigorated him when we had him on last time, and Ben Gutcher has been back after being a little quiet for a while as well. So lots going on there. Second topic is free cases. There's piles. I mean, not that I've caught up on all the ones that we talked about last time around, but just since then, Theory has released a new one called Traveling the World. Valley has put out one called The Big Fish. Zisheng put out Grinding the Grid 2, a sequel to Grinding the Grid, which is a little more focused on, let's say, real world skills. Julian put out a cool one on Connect 4. And of course, JJ put out his monster case Kart Wars, which is, I mean, even if you don't have the time that it would take to solve it, which is admittedly a lot of time, you should read it just for the story because it is so damn funny, including, illustrations, background, tons of Bear Island themed in-jokes, etc. Yeah, well worth a look. All right, local chapters. Deep breath. India launched with their first round It was a replay of a Peter Shaw case from a couple of years ago, so not a new case, but a new local chapter launched, exciting, and they have another round coming up in a couple of weeks. Brazil finished their regular season, had qualifiers and their first quarterfinal. That's all shaping up quickly. South Africa has, I think, had both rounds since we last met, and they've identified their finalists for their in-person final. The UK had the third round, and again, yes, there it is, old money on Jack's t-shirt for people who are not watching in the video. Yeah, and gearing up for a live final in a few weeks. DACH is about to have round 2, I think next Saturday. And of course, most importantly, the launch of MEWC Chile. Woo!
Yay!
Which, I mean, I don't know if this is the moment, but like, let's pause on that for a second, and then we can come to the other bit.
The other big news.
The other big news. I mean, I remember Harry saying that he launched his dynamic case, and then there was some other big announcement the next day, and he was afraid it was going to overshadow it. It's just there's no good time for a piece of big Excel news at the moment. It's all happening. Anyway. MEWC Chile. I think we were talking about this before we started recording, but your first free intro case is an Easter themed one, as a good indication of how long this has been in the works.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, you tested it, and that was mid-April, right? But you gotta get so many ducks in a row, and you gotta build the website, and actually what I'm most proud of is the subscription system, because it's worked perfectly so far. And it's 100% automated, right? Built everything is. I was listening to the hotcakes last week. I built that on Google Script.
Hey!
I was going to ask if you had. It looked like Google Apps Script to me.
Yeah, I love Excel. I like it a lot more than Google Sheet, obviously, but there's some things that Google Sheet does really, really well, and this is one of them, right? Because this was quite easy. I mean, what took me the longest was to design the emails, right? Mm-hmm. Well, ChatGPT permitting, of course, because I don't know how to program the scripts, right?
What was it? Pretty drag and drop, or like you had to code it, but just that's
it's fully coded. It's fully coded. I mean, you have the form which goes to a sheet, right? And then you have a script that whenever there's a new answer, it sends an email, right? And that email, everybody gets a hash based on their data, right? And it sends with the button with the hash and the confirmation, right? And then you get that back. You click that, and it hits a web app that's listening for that, right? And it changes you from pending to confirmed, right? And then it sends you the case. I've worked a bit on IT security, and so it probably more than what's strictly necessary, but I didn't want to have like bad emails, or maybe you could get a bad faith actor spamming you. It's clearly not been the case, but better safe than sorry.
For frantically scribbling notes, because that's somewhere we want to get to, but not one of our mad strengths at the minute.
Yeah, and the communications are fully bilingual, depending on what you answer on the form. You want in English, you want in Spanish, you get different emails. It's the same email, just translated, right? So competition. We have that test case. Training case. I'm going to be doing a webinar, because there's no community for this here. There's no, and the esports scene is not very big, and it's not that big a country. So I'm trying to give it my all to build a community, and train people, explain. I uploaded a video of the solve of the case, and the competition is going to be a bit on the easier side, so that everyone can learn, can move forward with it. I think my solve of this first case was just everything was like index and XLOOKUP. Some sum, some max, but for actual functions.
Everything's just XLOOKUP really under the hood.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, Dim, take us out. We've got big news to get through, and we haven't even started on our main topic.
All right. The last thing in Dim's golden age, you've fallen into the same trap as Harry of, making your announcement right before, boom, mic drop from the MEWC team, which is they've just launched the Play Online esports platform. It's the Excel's answer to chess.com or similar. So I think a number of people, including all four of us, have been beta testing a flavor of this for a while. Elliott! Thought you were one of the cool kids.
Don't tell MEWC, they might stop me commentating next week.
Anyway, some people were invited and others were not. Sorry.
Very select crowd.
I think I was invited, I was just too busy.
You were busy in the 5 minutes between the time the message went out and everyone volunteered.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I do remember that. It was like, hey, just, put a reaction on this message if you're interested. And by the time I saw the
And she's
message,
like,
there were like 50 reactions on it. Like, Anyway, lots of excitement there. Yeah, I briefly logged onto it just like a few hours ago, and there were like 5 different games in progress. Just cause it's very exciting. The original version that we tested had like only 10 cases available to play, and so I think within about 3 days of it launching, we had all played all 10 cases in at least one battle. But now they've broadened it out. There's like 70 cases in there, so that's going to take us a little while more to catch up with.
Yeah. There's also like a tiered subscription service. So what you need is to get someone that's on the sub to kind of like set up a big game.
I think the top can do up to 64.
Is it up to 64?
Yeah, which is
Wow.
Yeah, and the top one you can upload your own case. I mean, I think you have to send it to the FMWC, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of potential there.
You better believe Controverse is going to be there.
Oh my gosh.
The other exciting thing, like 64 is a lot, but this is now also the home of the live rounds, like the Road to Las Vegas battles are going to happen on this platform. So, forget about 64. There's going to be like hundreds of people on this live at a time, including, I saw somewhere today that it's going to have one of the most requested features of all time, the ability to upload your case file after the time is up, rather than using precious seconds.
Thank you. Freaking hate that.
It's the amount of emails that you kind of end up getting afterwards as an organizer from people who kind of like going, I didn't submit this before the time ran out, and then you've just got like an inbox full of spreadsheets.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky you.
That would be great.
At some point, I think I just stopped emailing them because it's like I'm going to post my live solve. You can all see what I'm doing here.
You audit yourself publicly.
I don't think anybody's going to doubt you when you get a full score by now. There's precedent.
Yeah.
Right. JJ, let's talk array broadcasting.
Yeah. Let's talk array broadcasting. I mean, I think the brass tacks of it, right, is that, and I mean, I'm not a mathematician. This is more Harry's ground, but I don't think this is standard maths. I asked ChatGPT and it told me, no, this is not usually done right. But the way Excel manages arrays, I think it's very intuitive and elegant. It's just that if you multiply or sum or concatenate, it mostly works for anything, right? A column with a row, then you get a matrix with, the height of the column and the width of the row, and it's just the combination of each cell. And I really like that because it allows for some really, really powerful stuff, right? Like just yesterday, I shared something that I was trying out this weekend, that instead of stacking 2 columns, you can just do an if, and then you put a row array of 1, 0, and then in the true you put your first column, and in false you put the second column, right? And that actually takes about half the time to process. It's kind of weird because when I try it with just one and your typical timer thing, it's the same. But when I either map it or when I do it like a lot of them with just with a timer, it's way faster. So there's something weird going there. The second one where I used it, I was really glad for the result, was my permutations lambda. Because, I saw both. I haven't quite understood it yet. I know he uses a reduce, and I have no idea how that works quickly with a reduce. It's beyond me. But what I do, right, is because you're combining things, right? You take first, the column of the things, and you take the row of the things. And then for this matrix multiplication, you use an if. And then if the element you're adding already exists, give me an error. Otherwise, give me the element, and you concat, right? And then that, you use it to call, and then you got, a bigger thing. And then you do that as many times as necessary, and you end up with everything, concatenated. And then, this was actually a tip from Bo. You can, if you make them the same width, which, I used Filler. He converted it to Unichar, which I think is freaking brilliant. You can
I claim partial credit for that. It wasn't my original idea, but so we both saw Bhavya Gupta posted a video of doing like a subsets lambda where he converted everything into letters, because I think it was only up to 20. And then I said, oh, you could, maybe if there's a long enough Unicode range that's all single character, then we could use that. But then Bo actually, of course, went and found it because he is extremely diligent. While I'm like, I have this idea, and I might get around to testing it someday, along with all the other ideas on my list.
You don't even need separators, so there's a lot less text, and it runs way faster. I haven't implemented it, but I've done similar things, and the results vary, very strongly. But with this method, I was generating the permutations from the ATM one, right? This is freaking it's a 600,000 row by 7 column output, and it took 2 seconds, maybe. It's
nice.
Violently fast, right? So it's like, it's so powerful. I love it.
And you've got that built into a pre-built lambda that you can just use.
Oh yeah, I have like 70 lambdas, 80 lambdas by now, right? And I'm usually retiring.
And where can I find this pre-built lambda?
I can share it with you. I don't have this. Well, actually, my personal macros workbook is in my Google Drive, which kind of drives me nuts because every time I open my Excel, it tells me the temp file cannot be opened. I don't know how to prevent it from generating the temp file. But it allows me to have the thing online. So if you want me to share it with you, you can always have that. I'm very open with that. I have I have a new graph lambda to freaking solve the tree case.
Nice.
Figure out how to do it. Yeah.
I think what we need now at this point in time is a full library of lambdas that is kind of centrally maintained. Because I have a collection from here and there and everywhere, but having a nicely maintained thing that we can all upload to would be amazing.
True.
It's almost development season for me. I generally only write new lambdas and stuff in the month or so before Vegas. Maybe it'll be a little longer this year. You've gotta talk Unsplivet, if only for the wonderful name, but also
it's what I like the most about that. And I redid it right with if I'm gonna talk about Unsplivet, I talk about bicol and birow. It's bcol and brow, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I read them as bicol and birow, but
no, but it's with a knee with an I and a Y, but it's amazing, right? It's this function that I stole from Dim's one of his solves of my cases. I'm looking at what he's doing. It's like, hey, what is this? And it
I mean, full
essentially,
credit. I stole the original. I made a slight tweak to it, but I stole the original from Laurie Miller.
Yeah.
So,
My one's called By Call by Peter Bartholomew, so you know.
but what this does very quickly is it goes around the limitation that a by row and a by call cannot output arrays per step. Right, so
Yep.
each step can output an array, so you can end up with a matrix or whatever the heck you want, right? It has some limitations, right? If something very big, you're still destacking or h-stacking a lot of stuff. It can get slow, but for reasonably sized things, it's another world, right? So what I do with the pivot, it's an unpivot, right? But I will also add a split character. So in each column, if you were to have a concatenated set of values, and this comes from it was the first training doc case, right? Where you had a pivoted table, and you had a bunch of cities separated with semicolons. And I'm like, okay, I need to build something for this. So it will first split them, and then it will unpivot them. So, and for each split, it repeats the header, right? And then for the whole row, it repeats the part to repeat.
I'm gonna get an unsplitter T-shirt made. I think this is a Lambda that needs its own T-shirt. Not gonna lie.
That is the new bar for Lambda development.
Yeah, let's do it.
I will say I was looking at it. I was looking at the code you shared for it yesterday, just like trying to wrap my head around how it worked and all. I don't want to overpromise because I haven't tried it yet, and it's on my list of ideas along with many other things. Maybe I'll mention it to Bo, and then it will get done. But I think I might have a way to make it run faster with, of all things, array broadcasting.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Was this your prep for an array broadcasting talk? Was you trying to like max out the amount of array broadcasting practice you've gotten in?
Yeah, it's so much fun. I use it on my map lambda, and I mean I just mentioned I built a graph lambda, and comparing them, the graph lambda obviously doesn't use array broadcasting because the connections are not that static, that predictable, and the map lambda obviously does, so it uses that and it runs 4 times faster, I think, which is a good chunk. I mean the other one is like 5 seconds to solve Temple of the Golden. No, it's 1 second to solve Temple of the Golden Idol because that one has a lot of like unused paths. So it's a very specific case where it's way faster. But for a 100 by 100 map with like full pathing, it takes like 5 seconds, which is still pretty damn fast.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it will carry the path if you have an argument. There's, hey, show me the path you took. That takes like 20 seconds, right? Because it's doing a lot with text, but yeah.
So when you mentioned that you made this for Tree Climber, does it do the path even in like weird cases like that?
Yeah, I mean, essentially what you do is you do it in 2 steps. The first one is you convert, and that's another lambda, the map to a connections thing where you have column 1, first location, column 2, second location, and then it grabs the whatever value was on both of those locations, 2 columns. But you can use that or not, and then so you could build your third column for the distances based on the entire rules for the case.
You should give it a try on Harry's Alice case because that's a good non-traditional maze.
The yellow brick road?
No, the Alice in the dynamic case.
I haven't done that one.
Alice's case is the like ice. It's like it's a maze, but you're going over ice. So as soon as you step in a direction, you slide until you hit a wall. So you don't move to the cell next to you. You move.
That sounds like Lana on Ice.
Oh, I love that.
Like Lana on Ice, but then there's also like in Lana on Ice, you only ever it's like you go in one direction. What happens in this? It's like, I mean, it's solving a maze, but with ice skating also. So it's like you skate until you hit a wall, and then you can go in these two directions, and you can go here and here and here. Yeah.
You would have to.
So many. I can't go anywhere without spoilers for the dynamic case at the minute.
Madness.
I mean, it's been out for months now, Elliot. How can you be so far behind?
Tim, Harry.
I want to have one question on array broadcasting before we cut out to Excel hot takes. How do you guys work? So obviously, when you're working with Python, for example, and you're working with multiple arrays, and let's say you have the wrong dimensions for mapping one to the other, and then you apply something. There are set rules in Python that tend to happen when you're doing array broadcasting with weirdly shaped arrays. Whereas when you're doing stuff like that in Excel, it just returns errors in certain sections or whatever. How do you deal? So that it's got a lot of limitations. If you're not working with single scalars, or if you're working with something where the sizes don't match up well, how do you deal with that?
That's a really interesting one, because on top of that, there's also, as I think we probably all know, because I think you were all there when Danielle was talking about it last year in Vegas, but some other people might not. The weird things that go on sometimes for trying to apply, dynamic arrays or broadcasted arrays to things like dates and that kind of thing. Giles and I saw a really weird sum-if behavior earlier today. Yeah, some really odd things go on sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I personally don't use Python, so I'm kind of lost there. But I take advantage of it in Excel on my map lambda, because you have your set of already visited destinations, and then in each step you will add new destinations, right? So what I do is I take the first column, because the destination has location and distance, right? You take the locations and you v-stack it with the new locations, and that's gonna mean the original destinations are gonna be completely untouched, whereas the new ones, are gonna get stacked, and then I h-stack that again with the distances. And what happens is the new ones just get an error, right? And then when I update the distances, that error is just part of the formula. I mean, it works perfectly. So you can totally get around it, and it's to call having error management is just really useful for that.
There's like a few functions on my wish list for this, like the big one being map. Like Excel so naturally handles, like, I want to do something with this row and this column. It's like, all right, you mean every combination, gotcha. But you can't map a row and a column. You have to like manually expand that one and expand that one, or you might do it with something, which feels like a missed opportunity. I would like to see that happen. And then the other one is same thing for like the ifs, like sum ifs, count ifs, whatever, to be able to say, like this blob where, this is something and where this is something, and have it broadcast that as well. But, there's also lots of other updates I'm waiting for on sum ifs and count ifs, like being able to handle arrays. So, add
They're a bit terrible right now. But you can use just sum, and then you use sum and you put the array inside the sum, right? You multiply it.
If the condition is simple, like if the condition is something like, star me star, that's not as easy. And you can work around it all eventually, but it's not as easy.
Yeah, I guess. The map one is interesting, but what you could do is you get a sequence, two sequences, right? A row and a column, and you concatenate them with a splitter, and you feed that into your map, and that's your value, right? Which is going to be a matrix, and then on every step you're going to have to resplit them, right? Which is of course not terribly elegant, but that's a way.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, what I would do is like, so whatever, say I've got my column here and my row here, I would say if, sequence, comma, columns of this thing, then this, and that expands that out. And if sequence of rows of this thing, then this, and that expands that out. And then you can put
and you get two matrices. You don't have to split it, right? It can take multiple arguments. Yeah, that would totally work. I use that quite a bit in a lot of formulas. If, sequence, rows, blah blah blah. So freaking convenient.
But I wanted to do it like you don't have to do that if you want to multiply this by this. Like you don't have to be like, well, let me expand this and then expand this. It's just you just boom, done.
Just push them together.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You want something better? Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. So one thing actually, that just one final thing about the array broadcasting. Out when I was doing this if and the stacking, that you cannot because the first array can be as wide as you want, right? When you're stacking, let's say we're stacking columns, and then but the second one can only be monocolumn, because I found out, and I actually had a notice, if you try to like broadcast horizontally something that has one column, it will repeat. But you cannot broadcast horizontally something that has more than one column. It turns into an ace instead of just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, which seems like a missed opportunity. Like there's a very intuitive and direct application, and it could be done. But then again, my wish list for Excel is pages long. So
I actually
moving the freaking
think that
formula
makes sense. Because if you try to add like 2 columns to 3 columns, they don't line up. If you try to add 1 column, then there's an interpretation that is okay. Spread it
Absolutely. No, I mean it's less of a reasonable interpretation, but it's still about why not? Every now and then it's useful.
What are your thoughts on array broadcasting? Have you done much with that in your competition attempts?
I was just trying to mock up some of the stuff that I was just talking about. Because
You're just sitting there in the background trying to unsplit it.
Yeah, I think I've got as far as using equals if sequence rows of this, then this, to try and make things that are 1-dimensional, 2-dimensional, and the right size.
That's already amazing.
But I like that for if you've got like a two-way X lookup with multiple values each way, because then you can turn one into one way, one in the other, then use map and have it as val 1, val 2, and then it becomes a nice simple X lookup. That's about as far as I've got with array broadcasting. I was frantically, as you were talking about stuff, going, wait, does that work? Does that work? I was just playing with the if curly bracket 1 0 1 for H stacking you were talking about. That is super cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can use a sequence, but if it's tiny, then what for? When I'm building my code generating lambda, because all my lambdas come from a macro, right? It's always commas, even though I use semicolons for separators as a local thing. So I wonder what the column separator is and if it's standardized in VBA.
Interesting.
Hmm?
But your lambda setup macro presumably just says like name value equals, and then it's a string enclosed in quotes, no?
Yeah, but it still uses commas. When you define a formula or whatever calculation in VBA, you don't have locale for the separators. It's always comma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess in a way that's good for you, because otherwise it's the kind of thing that you would go to import your lambdas in Vegas, and none of them would come. And you'd be like, but I need to unsplit it.
Yeah, no.
I'll finish the case in 3 minutes.
My nightmare there was that I'm setting up and I'm trying to copy my personal workbook into the correct place, and I always use it's a search thing. It's called Everything. It's really cool. And I look up personal and I find it. So I'm like, oh my god, I don't know where this folder is. Where is this folder? And it gave me the answer for freaking iOS.
Oh my!
Does it know you at all?
Yeah, no, like what the heck? And I didn't know at that point, right? So I'm like looking around. I ended up Googling it. Jesus, man, that was a moment.
Well, this is why we now have CompBot, for example, which just pulls in all of your stuff for you, and you just have it all kind of pre-laid out in there and imported into, including your regional settings. Not that I'm pumping up my own bot, but
I need to start using more of those things. I haven't had the time to look into them. Like I don't use the robot thing. I've never used it, and I keep seeing people use it and talking about it. It's like, this might be amazing. Am I missing
This
out?
is amazing.
It's
It is
amazing. It's amazing. Yep.
It's amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Even if all you use it for is the like lambda generation, it's such.
Yeah.
Generation stuff.
Just
love it.
lambda generation, even just lambda importing when you're doing competitions. I just like prep my competition sheets and it imports all my lambdas and I'm done. Okay, right. Let's move swiftly on. Before we wrap up, it's time for Excel hot takes. Woohoo! And this is a segment where we discuss a controversial opinion on Excel. Comment on this podcast or email us to add your own hot take for a future month. And Director Johnny has done a D8 roll because we only had 8 hot takes, and come up with the hot take.
Jingle.
He's come up with the hot take, but let's start. That's a very good point. Let's jump straight into the jingle before we do the hot take. Let's go.
Excel hot take. What will they say? Is this array in disarray? Excel hot takes.
Love it.
All right. So this month's hot take is Excel is an adequate database.
Adequate being the main word there, I think. Most important word.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Absolutely.
This doesn't feel very controversial at the moment.
No.
I mean, there are people who would consider this very. I sat next to a guy at work like 10 years or so ago, and I think he was like a VBA developer. I never worked directly with him, but I would just hear him occasionally on the phone to people and be like, all right, well, the problem here is you're using Excel as a database, but Excel is not a database. And he would like go through this whole spiel about it every time. I'm like,
10 years ago or so, I would actually 100% be on the Excel is not a database, because 90% of my work at that point in time was writing VBA macros to split and import data because we didn't have Power Query, and load in giant sets of data. And actually, because you'd kind of like, I'm even going back to when we didn't have a million rows of data, being able to split that out into like 50,000 rows at a time and dump them into separate sheets, and then do a whole bunch of processing and split stuff out so there's only a little bit left to work with in Excel.
So just as someone that's only used Excel for 4 years, there was a time when it was less than a million rows?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had 65,536. It's not mad long ago. I mean, I feel old now, but
it was Excel 2007 was the one that bumped the grid, and also introduced the ribbon, because I don't know if you remember Windows menus where it's just you click on File, you click on Edit, but once upon a time we and your parents used to work with files like that.
Once upon a time, you could not have multiple windows for the same sheet. That was introduced in 2010.
I mean, to be fair, I found that out about a year ago, and no one I've ever met in person has ever heard of it. And that's true of most things that we do in Excel, to be fair.
Maybe no one has ever told you in person that they've heard of it, but considering the group of people you socialize with, I promise you have met people in person who know about that.
Oh
yeah, I was excluding people related to this call. I will just say in my defense, it's not because I am 18. I am not 18. Just to clarify, it's because I was a pub manager and a maths teacher before my Excel life.
Yeah. You're a noob to Excel, and yet you're still outdoing most of us.
That's because I'm new. I'm not way down with all this rubbish.
Way down with the history of 65,000 rows of data.
You are a Windows mapper, and you have no respect for tradition.
Hey, I got plenty of respect for tradition, just not bad tradition.
Elliott mentioning his math teacher past reminded me that I let it go at the time, but in defense of math, what you said about array broadcasting being just an Excel thing is totally not true. That's a math thing.
In defense of
the math.
It is
singular?
Mathematics.
Maths.
yes, I am an American now. I'm sorry.
Oh dear.
If you jump down into deep dark mathematics as well, you will start finding why things are called lambda functions and why they're eta reductions on the lambda functions when you just type sum rather than lambda sum, etc. That all comes from deep dark mathematics as well. People will try and tell you it comes from Python and C++ and JavaScript. But no, deep dark mathematics all the way down.
Well, although I have told the Excel folks that I feel like, as much as it links them to a rich intellectual history, calling it lambda, a bit of a marketing fail. They should have just called it function or something. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
function. That would be my favorite function. No, not on the mouse. I apologize.
What if you call this fun?
hello.
Hey, kitty cat.
Did you want to join
Sorry.
the podcast?
Arya has opened up some browser windows over there to do something. I don't know what she's doing. So I thought I'd better
What are
keep her off.
her views on using Excel as a database?
Yeah. Hey,
How do you feel about using Excel as a database? No, she's just glaring at you right now.
I've had a lot of colleagues in my current job and in my previous job say to me, "We can't use Excel for this. Excel isn't a database." When it's storing something which only has about 10 columns and would need to run for 100 years before it gets anywhere close to getting halfway to a limit.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, right? It is a database. You gotta know what you're using it for, right? Because if you want to do a lot of data, no, it's not gonna work. But if you're working with a reasonably small amount of data, then it absolutely is, and it is. Well, it's an advantage and a weakness that it's far more dynamic in the way you will handle the data. Copy paste a freaking, just this range and move it over there, which is very convenient for handling data, but also makes it able to like errors and stuff. But still, I think it can absolutely be used at a certain magnitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's also a difference in processing power these days, because what used to be regular data is now quite easy to use in Excel, and the limitations are when you start going into what used to be dubbed big data a few years back. And once you start going into the mass quantities of data there, that's when you start getting issues.
Yeah. I actually did use it for a project, now that I recall. It was a university, and they have this diploma. And the diploma will have many courses, and a course will have many classes, and each class has a teacher, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I built it as a database. You had each sheet, and they related to each other via keys and whatnot. And then you would click a button, and you would give it like the specific instance information, like when start, what time, blah, blah, blah. You click a button, and it would generate the whole calendar and how much you're going to pay the teachers and the whole shebang, right? And that is absolutely a database.
Since we've all been on the that's cool side, and since there's no real database people here, whatever small, medium, large size, it's sorry, there are real database people here. Just not people banging the drum of how dare you use Excel.
Yeah.
Like if you want to have hey, who changed this value and when, and that kind of thing, like Excel is not the place for that.
Don't say it. I know what you're going to say. I know where you're going. But it's true. Yeah. Say it. Finish it.
Nobody said it. Excel is not the place for that.
No, but there is a place for that.
You were going to say sheets? I mean, yeah, I guess. If you...
Are we just combining hot takes now? Okay, I am ending you hot takes right on that
Excel hot take.
Cut off.
What will they say? Is this array in disarray? Excel hot takes.
All right. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you, JJ, for your discussion on array broadcasting. As we close up, what's going on in all your lives, and where can people find you? Dim, what's happening? Where can we find you?
Well, I'm about to go off for a week of hiking in the Spanish Pyrenees. Good luck finding me. It will be impossible. Not bringing my laptop. Don't think there's going to be any cell phone reception. Off the grid.
Excellent.
I think
Elliott?
an Excel grid-based search for Dim is already underway.
Yeah, that's fair.
What am I doing? Apparently, I'm making YouTube videos again. I don't know how that happened. I do not have the time for it at the minute. I am. What am I doing? I am packing up my house and quitting my job and running away to New Zealand. So good luck finding me. Fire Japan.
Not quite yet. We need you still. Just a little bit longer.
Yeah. I am staying in the UK for the UK Live Finals and for something else which is going on, and then at the end of September running away, pretending I am 18 again, and then you can call me a young whippersnapper. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, ePat. I think hopefully we'll be making videos from the road going forward, but let's get past FMWC UK Live Final first. Yeah.
JJ, what about you?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be doing the Chilean competition, right? So I should be sort of all over the place. But if anyone wants to participate, remember it's completely free. It's at Excel-esports.cl. Yeah, and well, I have my YouTube channel at Excelman Chile, and we have also the YouTube channel for the Chilean competition is at Excel-esports.cl. No second dash. We discussed that extensively.
It's a rare esports channel I have not yet subscribed to. I'm going over to YouTube right now.
It's like
There's one video, and it's in Spanish, right? So it's to solve the thing, right? And well,
hablo some español.
true.
Yeah, but Chilean Espanol.
It was really hard because I'm doing formulas in English, but I'm talking in Spanish. So I keep trying to do formulas in Spanish, right? And I keep getting name errors. What did I? Oh, damn it! At least 5 times during the video. But you got that?
I feel you. I'm brushing up on a different language at the minute, but I saw my brother's family who are all Spanish speakers last week. And I went back to my other language lessons, and every time I couldn't find a word, it just came out in Spanish, and my teacher was like, What are you? What? My teacher who just not speak Spanish was not understanding. Like, no, I need to speak in English, not in Spanish. I can't do this.
okay. Thanks, JJ. So we will include the details for Chile local chapter in the notes below by Jack Kennedy. You can find me at Exceltism Jack, and you can find this podcast on YouTube at the Excel Files, or just look for the Excel Files wherever you get for your podcast. So thank you very much for watching or listening, whichever you might be doing, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. I don't know what it is. Every time Johnny edits the podcast, he makes it look like we don't know what's going on.
And I'm going to be real professional this time. I'm not going to, just forget to introduce the guest like last time. Or
Johnny, there's your cold open if you want to edit something in.